Thank you. Thank you for inviting me Multicultural Center. I think it's a great venue to discuss these issues which are very important to our society. I was asked to talk about my experiences. I don't like talking about myself, but to comply with the request, I will run through my experiences very fast, and then maybe we'll talk about some of the ideas out of my experiences. I was born in Pakistan as the first child of a family, a small town in Pakistan. I came from a very modest family. My parents provided food, shelter, clothes, and most importantly, they directed us towards education. At an early age of 11, I started working with my father in his business. I worked during the day. Notice I'm going very fast. I like talking about myself. During the day, I went to work with my dad, and at nighttime, I went to school. At first, I was not a very good student, not a great student. I was told by my teachers that I lacked interest. Then in grade 7, I started to work. When I was working with my dad, I started to realize that what I was learning at school, I was able to use at work as well. So therefore, the interest began. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you that in my books, education is the foundation of success. I finished my undergrad degree from the University of Karachi while working full-time in our family business. I was 23 when I told my father that I was going abroad to travel and see the world. I left Pakistan by road and traveled for 3 months, going through 10 countries. I ended up in Belgium and decided to take advantage of the central location and traveled most of Europe. I worked odd jobs, gathered some money, and be on the road for a couple of months at a time. I landed a very lucrative job to act in a movie, which was sponsored by Belgian and Dutch government. Believe it or not, I made a pile of money and instantly became a celebrity in Belgium. In 1973, I applied for a chartered accountant's designation in Canada. I was told that I had to upgrade my undergrad degree. And by the way, I was resentful. But trust me, that was the right thing to do. In retrospect, that was the right thing to do. So I applied for the University of Calgary. I was very fortunate that the University of Calgary greeted me with open arms. The day I arrived in Calgary, I was warmly welcomed by the outside temperature of 40 below zero. I had no money, did not want to get any help from my parents, so I took on 2 part-time jobs while I was a full-time student in the University of Calgary. Soon it became apparent that it was very tough, and I was not doing justice to education. By that time, I had created a good rapport with my professors. One of them was Dr. Tillman. He gave me $300 per semester to tutor and mark papers, and got 2 other professors to give me the tutor money as well. I also imported goods, which I had them pre-sold at a profit. I got married in December 1974 in Miami, and 5 days later in Karachi. My wife also worked. This is how we put ourselves through school. Throughout my schooling in Canada, I would read biographies of famous people. I was always searching for gems in their abilities and trying to adopt them. I always wanted to learn to be very good at doing business. This came easily as I had a keen interest in business. During my articles, as a chartered accountant, you have to do the article. I was anxious to learn how other people made money. What was the secret of their success? This is how I was searching while I was articling. Until I finished my CA, life was very hard as we lived hand to mouth. By that time, I was blessed with our first child, the second on the way. I am a very proud father of 3 daughters and 1 grandson. Our children have enriched our lives and made us very proud parents. As I finished my CA, I called the University of Calgary and offered to teach. I taught as a part-time sessional for 15 years while I had a full-time chartered accountant's practice for 27 years. As my career was on track, I started to look for ways to help others in need. I mentored, helped new immigrants, and most of all, started to help the underprivileged children through Cornerstone of Calvary. I consider myself blessed and privileged. I continue to this day believe in the major principle of my life. Those are three words: learn, earn, and return. Learn, earn, and return. As I spoke earlier, the education is the foundation of success, and my commitment to education is and will always be there. When I am among students, I find it invigorating and stimulating. When I am among students on the campus, I start to dream that I am among future leaders, philanthropists, business leaders, and icons. My involvement at the University of Calgary Chartered Accountants Education Foundation and Education Matters, some of you may know all about these institutions, is the beginning of my desire to promote education. I have and always promote education. It does not matter what profession you are in. And you must at least take one course in financial literacy. So it does not matter what you do. Our universities don't do a great job in teaching financial literacy to non-business students. They train them very well to become great doctors, good artists, and you give them very little market effect. So anyway, I believe financial literacy will make the person very successful and make our country prosperous. Today I spend about half of my time on philanthropist activities. I chair the Calgary Police Commission, Vice Chair of the Education Matters, Board Governor for Chartered Accountants Education Foundation, People for Progress Foundation, Canadian Association of Police Boards, Canadian Air Transport Security Authority, and so on and so on. I also sit on various public and private company boards, which is where I make some money. Doing the volunteer work definitely does not make you money, but it gives you satisfaction. I am giving it back to you. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the sort of pointers. Workplace. I suggest when you get a job, my suggestion for a newcomer is that you work very hard to prove your abilities. And I know all immigrants work very hard to prove their abilities. I also think while you're working at nighttime, go and take courses, whatever they may be, to improve your knowledge. Because you have a pretty steep learning skills to catch up with the Canadian standards. My secret is the harder I work, the luckier I became. Challenges. Language is a very important factor in integration. It does not matter what you know. If you cannot communicate, you know nothing. Sincerely. If you cannot tell what's in your mind, you know nothing. So language is the most important factor. As Poliana said, you've got to learn the language. You've got to get proficient at it. I therefore suggest every newcomer to enroll in English language courses. Overcome this barrier as quickly as possible. Learn to speak clearly and be able to express properly. Advice. You can only give away your integrity once. Make sure it's worth the price. Thank you very much. Before I leave, of course, being the chair of the Calgary Police, I thought I should take this moment to I would like to introduce the diversity unit. Could you guys stand up and be welcome? This is the Calgary Police Service Diversity Unit. Thank you for coming. You should know that that the diversity unit at the Calgary Police Service is the largest unit in the country. And we're very proud to host the 2011 Diversity Conference in November this year. So I urge you to come to that conference. The conference will focus on sharing best practices amongst police services and the communities. Maybe you could show that a little small.